At the age of 13, when I was in secondary school, I had just become a teenager. I started to become more self-cautious. I used to focus on myself and think about how I looked when I was in public, when I was at school, when I was just out and about, when I was anywhere with people. I would become really self-conscious of what I looked like, of how I spoke. I just became more and more self-conscious. It's like all of a sudden, I just became self-aware. Before that, I was just like a reckless, loud. I wouldn't really think about what anyone thought of me. I would be just in the present, but also very unaware as well, self-unaware, not really trying to be aware of what I was saying, how I was making people feel, how I felt myself, and stuff like that. And yeah, but when I was 13, I started to become much more self-conscious in public anyway, and it led to social anxiety, and it just got gradually worse and worse. I was still, it wasn't like I became so self-conscious that I wouldn't, still be myself. Like, I would be loud and reckless still, but it's just in certain scenarios I would find myself more self-conscious, more anxious, and more in my head, in my thoughts, thinking about what's this person thinking, what if this, what if that. I would feel that more than I did when I was younger. Well, 1 year younger. But anyway, so I kept being myself, just I'm quite a loud, disagreeable kid. I was quite a loud, disagreeable kid who would make his voice heard, and I would, be a class clown kind of. With my mates, we'd have a good laugh and all of that stuff. I was watching porn, I was playing video games. I was socialising outside because we would go out all together. We would meet up a lot, go to the youth club, we would go on bike rides, we would just go play football, different types of stuff we would do. But I felt myself becoming more and more enclosed and isolated because I was, like I said, indulging in more video games. And when I was 13, that's when I got a TV in my, I got my Xbox and I got it in my room. Before that, it used to be downstairs on the living room TV. And I wasn't able to play it whenever I wanted. I wasn't able to play it for as long as I wanted, so it was controlled. But when it got into my room, that's when everything went a lot more isolated. I became a lot more isolated, I should say, and I just got entrenched in my own ways. I wasn't socialising with my family much. Even it stopped us going out with my mate. It stopped me going out with my mates as much as well, because now I had an Xbox and I had something else to put my time into, and I was interested in it, and it's very addicting, of course. And I played Xbox for like 2 years straight, flat out, with all my mates, have a good laugh. And then in 2020, when I was 15, the lockdowns happened, and in 2019, just before the lockdowns, I kind of got into, I began seeking truth. I began seeing lies in the world. I began seeing things that were I began seeing evil, and I got on this search of good and evil, and right and wrong, and I could see the evil in the world through mainstream media, through Hollywood, and I started watching videos about these different things and in the trends and just in how the world thought, in culture. That's what I saw. I saw the evil in our current culture, and it kind of made me start questioning things and questioning myself and trying to change myself, because I could see that where I was going wasn't good, It wasn't the best place for me, and it's not the best place for anyone to be. But anyway, I started to think about these things just before COVID and the lockdowns and all that. And then I removed myself from my friends slowly and slowly. I just stopped going out, I stopped playing Xbox, I just slowly removed myself. Then the lockdowns happened and it became easy. I just moved myself away. I had a girlfriend, that was my only social life really, and also I had my family. I had a good relationship with my sister. But I just became socially isolated completely. And coming out of the lockdowns after a year and a half, or I guess a few months, well, around 8 months after the lockdowns, I went to college because they opened the colleges again. And I still had my girlfriend, but I had no friends. I mean, I removed myself from all my friends. I hadn't met them in ages. I hadn't seen them. I hadn't spoken to them. And I basically just started afresh. And as I came out, I mean, I would be so anxious and so fearful. I would be completely just bewildered and confused and so self-conscious of how I looked, how I spoke, and it's almost like I would just be so in my head that I wouldn't be able to speak words to people. I wouldn't be able to form sentences. I wouldn't be able to communicate and without feeling embarrassed, without feeling self-conscious, without feeling myself blush and flush. I would flush. Like my whole face, I would feel myself just fill up like I was on fire. And I wouldn't know what to say or how to respond to people if they asked me questions or even just initiating conversations. I became extremely socially anxious, and it really didn't serve me well, and in fact it caused me so much headache, because any time I would have an encounter with someone, because I am quite a self-aware person, I know when I'm being in, not all the time of course, but I know when I'm being weird, or I say something weird, or I say something, or I just don't say anything at all. I make an awkward situation because I don't know how to respond, or I'm just, with people. So every time I would have a conversation with someone or a few words or just say hello, I would feel, why didn't I say this? Why didn't I say that? Why did I do that? And I'll just be so overly critical of myself. And that was a trend for a year plus. So from 2020, the end of 2020, all the way till the middle of 2022. So that's even longer than that. It's almost 2 years, mate. That's literally, that's 2 years. But I was really hyper self-conscious and crippling social anxiety. And I mean, I would go to Sainsbury's, I would near enough have a panic attack. So I'd just be thinking, as I went in, and also this was when all lockdown was going on, and I knew information about the masks. I knew, what was going on with all the vaccines, and I wasn't messing around with it. And I would say, I'm not wearing a mask. And I remember going there and I would feel so anxious about doing that. And obviously it is an anxious thing, but also just having any confrontation or any conversation with anyone would just cripple me in fear, in worry, and in stress. And I had to realise, and it took a while, that I just need to stop being so hypercritical of myself and just put myself in more situations of social interaction. So that's what I realised. You have to feed yourself a bit of poison. You have to feed yourself a bit of poison so that you become braver and stronger and more courageous, and you become more resilient to the pain of whatever the line that's in your way, so that you can face them slowly and slowly, bit by bit. You slowly become stronger and braver so that you can face the demon that is in your way. And that's what I learned so I basically started my self-improvement journey in I'll say 2021, but really in depth in 2022. and I became a Christian. Well, I came back to Christianity for real in 2022, and God helped me with it a lot as well. Just trust in Him. I can face anything with God, and He's got me. I'm not alone, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, no matter what. I started to learn these principles and how God is with me and how God will never abandon me and He's walking beside me, and that I can face anything with Him by my side. But I learned that you need to do exposure therapy when you're socially anxious, extremely socially anxious. You need to do exposure therapy, and you just need to start so small. And the reason why I had this, and the reason why you probably have it, is because, like I told you my story, I self-isolated. And that's how a lot of us are living. We're living in our homes 24/7. We're on our phones, we're on technology, we're on video games, we're watching pornography. We're not interacting with people, and we're social creatures. We need to have human interaction. That's what God has made us for, to interact with each other, to have relationships. And relationships are so important for your mental well-being, for your fulfillment, for your joy. Yeah, like I said, I was on this journey, and as I started to do exposure therapy, yes, it's hard. Yes, you're going to have awkward moments. You're going to have so many awkward moments. But just keep putting yourself in those positions and just do small things. Don't do things that are too overwhelming. Like, don't go up and do some public speaking or something straight away. You could, if that's up to you, but a majority of us are not in that place to do that. So just start small by going on walks and saying hello to people. That's what I want you to do. And then you can progress. You can say hello, how are you, to random people. Or just talk with your family more. Or talk with your grandparents. Talk with your brother or sister. Talk with a friend. If you have no friends, maybe if you're at work, or if you're, I don't know, at a sports club, or if you're at school, just initiate a conversation. Say, how are you? What are you up to today? Or what are you doing tonight? Or and then just see what their interests are, see what they're doing, and then ask questions. Just ask questions. That's what I want you to do. Just ask a simple question to someone, or greet someone. Say hello. Literally, it's that simple. And your social anxiety will slowly lower. It will slowly lower, and it's a journey and it's a process, but you can drastically reduce it just by following what I've just told you guys. But yeah, God bless your souls, and yeah, keep pushing yourself. Let's go. Discomfort is our best friend. Honestly, understand that, and the world is truly your oyster. Honestly, it really is. Discomfort is our best friend. Push ourselves into discomfort, and that's how we become more courageous, stronger, and able to face difficult situations and challenges that face us. And your difficult challenge might be something so small, and don't be prideful, because I still have these small things, and we all do. Everyone, even the most, it's just don't be prideful and think that you're above the challenge that you face, because you're not. Humble yourself, face the challenge, and look upwards. God bless your souls.